Sticking with my head cut off. How are you guys doing? How's you doing, Ken? How you doing, Herbert? Hey, Woodsman, CNT. I appreciate all of you guys coming in. I am worried about getting in too early, and I'm a couple minutes late. Sorry about that. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had a good start to their week. I know Monday's kind of hard for some people. I always start my week on Sundays, of course, but I know majority of people look at Monday as the first day of the week, at least first day of work week for most people. Not everybody's lucky to have the weekends off, but for those that have to work on weekends, I appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a good dinner tonight. And if you haven't, I appreciate you coming in before dinner. I always try to keep it 2 hours or less. We'll try to get out earlier, but if discussion's going well, then we'll just keep it going, rolling. You know how that is. We like to chat it up here in our community. Hey, Randy, appreciate you here, brother. Smash a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Ken. Hey, TD Knives and Adventures, I appreciate you in here. I don't know if it's Daniel or your wife, but I appreciate you here. PR Fishing Journal, hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys are all well. Let's see here. Who'd I miss? Woodsman, CNT, Herbert, Ken, TD Knives, Randy. Hey, we're all here, right? We can start the show. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory as the description states. I think it's a underrated topic that people like to kind of skip around and don't really want to talk about it, but I think it's super important because everybody knows how much hotter it's been this year, nationwide, pretty much. So I think it's a real important topic to talk about. Whether you're hiking, camping, fishing, anything outdoors this time of year can be brutal. Not just in the Southwest, uh, New York State, and a lot of different states has hit records this year, highs already, and it's not even July yet. So we all know that. We're all in different parts of the country represented right here as we speak. There's a few of us here in Missouri and Illinois and North Carolina, Puerto Rico. Who am I forgetting? TD Knives is in Southwest and Arizona, Phoenix. Hey, finding joy on this journey. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. But as everybody knows by the description, we're going to be talking about staying cool during summer backpacking, or like I said, kayaking, fishing, camping, hiking, you name it, anything outdoors. If you're outdoors, even working outdoors, even in your job, this all pertains to being outdoors, even going out and mowing your lawn. If you got a big yard like I do and have to mow for hours, it's important. We all know it, but we all don't like to talk about it. But, I see a lot of stories for outdoors people, getting heat stroke and, uh, it's a important topic that I think needs to be discussed more, especially not just particularly people that are new to the outdoors or new to all these things. Even I tend to not drink enough or don't wear the right clothes or forget the right hat, when you're hiking. It's all important when you're camping, when you're fishing. All of it makes, and even when you're fishing and you're near water, the reflection from the sun intensifies it that's much more. And then you got to put in whether there's high UV rays. I mean, that's all nowadays with our smartphones. We can all read all that and get prepared before we go out. We're going to forget something, but that's how it is. Sunscreen in my books, number one anymore. Um, but you guys feel free. I love our conversations. I always look forward to our Monday nights because we have such good discussion. A lot of people have ideas and things that we don't really think about, and everybody's good at uh, adding to kind of what my outline. I usually have a general outline because I know I rely not just rely on you guys, but I feed off you guys too for your guys' input. Everybody in here is really good people and have really good ideas that maybe some of us don't even think about. So, yep, a little bit of static on your sound. I got a little bit of static. Hmm. Let me see if I can fix that. Does that help on the static? My workshop has no AC. Pound water and electrolytes daily. Yes, pound water and electrolytes daily. That's for sure. That's definitely was on my list for sure. Definitely top of the list. Being hydrated and protecting your skin, um, wearing light clothing. Um, the biggest thing is if you're in the heat like now, it's been in the 90s and pretty hot. Like I said, knowing the UV rays, knowing the forecast ahead of time, and if you can, like use hiking for instance. If you can go hiking and go to a higher elevation, of course it's going to be cooler, and a lot of times you're going to pick up maybe a little bit of wind on a higher elevation. Um, if you're camping, uh, it's your choice of location. Of course, you're going to try to find shady areas. And two, when it's hot, not only staying hydrated, taking if it's the peak of the day, you got to take more breaks. You got to drink more water. Um, you know, let your body tell you, you know, when you're using the restroom, paying attention to what your urine color is important. If it's brown, or really dark, you're dehydrated. So, um, you know, like you say, and pound that water and electrolytes. Eat some light salty snacks, some trail mix or something makes it good. Wet towels around the neck, absolutely. Yep, wet towels around the neck. A lot of this is real good information. Was is in my outline. You guys are hitting it on the head, which I knew we would. But it's one of those things that um, we don't discuss a lot. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any chat here. Sorry, guys. What's the last? I'm gonna tell my boss 210 said I have to take more breaks. That's right. That's right, Ken. Tell your boss I told you need more breaks. I mean, we do. Uh, if you're like me, you're bad about not drinking enough water as it is. I mean, all fluids matter, but like you say, electrolytes, the Gatorade or Powerade is key. I like the electrolyte powder mixes, so you don't have to bring an extra, uh, cup or bottle, but um, some kind of electrolytes definitely, especially if it's hot. Uh, Wearing the lighter clothing. Let's see here. Your body produces heat during physical activity. Well, no duh. I mean, obviously, but it intensifies and with the UV, the heat, how much wind, how much shade you're in. Um, we already talked about all that. Of course, everybody knows your body, cools down with the sweat. That's why your body sweats. So obviously to cool your body down. But like you said, like let's see here, who said the wet towels um, around your neck. If you're around a stream or a river, or if you've got extra water to spare, wet your shirt, wet your hat. Um, Wet your socks. I mean, your feet, putting your feet in cool water. If you have near a stream, hiking near a stream, it's great to take your breaks and put your feet in the water. Um, we all know that, but it's one of those things that we don't always do. Hey, Skeeter, appreciate you coming by, buddy. Sorry, my chat's not updating like it should. There we go. I got it updating now. Evening, folks. Hey, Lefty, how you doing tonight? We're all just discussing little how to combat the heat during this time. We all know how. We all know how and what we should do, but do we all do it when we need to do it? Of course not. If we're doing YouTube and we're videoing, we're not going to stop and take that break like we should. Or, if you are hiking with a buddy or whatever, you always think, well, I can go another hour. You know, Obviously the recommended time is an hour and a half to stop and when it's hot, especially in the summer in the heat of the day, every hour and a half, you should stop and, you know, drink plenty of water and It's good. Everybody's bringing in listen to your body. Absolutely. Yep. Let's was the next on the list is listen to your body. Thanks, finding joy. Yep. Your body will tell you you don't want to start cramping, but I mean, obviously, if you're tired, you know, you need to stop and rest, especially in the heat. It's worse. Let's see, Herbert, I missed that one. My one win should be here Thursday. I am a wreck trying to figure out how the best configuration to be cool. Yeah, the best thing to do with your tarp on that, and that's kind of what I was getting into later in the outline, is picking your campsite, picking your setup, tent versus hammock. The good thing about hammocks are in the summer is a lot of times you don't have to set up a tarp if you're not expecting rain. Here we get a lot of a dew anyways in the morning, so even if it is hot, I usually put a tarp up higher in the summer just to keep the dew off of me. But I usually use all four of my tarp poles, and I set it both sides up straight up and flat right above me just to keep the dew off me in the mornings. But I want you know, optimum airflow. And like I said, hammocks definitely are better airflow during the summer. Even if you have a really good, if you can leave your rain fly off your tent, obviously you're going to get good airflow if you have a good tent, but I still get better airflow in a hammock. That's a positive. But I have a really nice tent that has good mesh, and I can usually put a tarp over my tent and leave the rain fly off, so I get optimum airflow with my tent as well. So, that's kind of something that seems like it should be common sense, but I mean, if you're in a hurry, you get out there late, and like now, I mean, it's staying in 70 or above at night, so it's pretty hot and humid here, so it's pretty miserable. So you need that wind. If you are car camping or whatever, I'm particularly not just talking about hiking necessarily, but any outdoor activity, like I said before, all this is good for fishing, hunting, anything outdoors, mowing your lawn, you know, if you're out there mowing for 2 hours, you need to take a break. Ken says, my morning routine consists of drinking a Monster energy drink by 9 and then 3 to 4 of the 28-ounce Gatorade bottles filled with water the rest of the day. Yeah, that's good. And a lot of us tend to have a lot of coffee or energy drinks or tea or whatever in the morning. Any caffeine that you introduce your body's going to increase your dehydration as well, big time. So, I mean, I know all of us know that, but I'm guilty of that. And drink a couple coffees or a couple teas, or I like hot tea in the morning. But um, that caffeine is what really helps dehydrate you too. Let's see here. Am I missing anything? Skeeter's in here. I'm doing well, brother. I appreciate you coming by. I really do. Hope you and Mrs. Skeeter have fun on your trip to Michigan, seeing Lower Michigan and hanging out with everybody there. And you guys stay hydrated as well and take care of yourselves out there. I know you will. Catch lots of fish and have fun with everybody there. Let's see here. Herb, the kiddie pool filled with ice and hammock hang 2 inches. There you go, Randy. Yeah, I mean, and they have really cool light and battery powered fan options that are pretty high powered fans to hang on your ridge line above your hammock if you want a fan, if it's not going to be real breezy. Those are really nice. Um, and if you do wet a towel when you're laying in, I mean, at night, it just depends. But if you even have a wet towel and put it over your forehead and you do have a breeze, I mean, that's going to cool you down, obviously. Um, if you have ice, if you're backpacking or camping, I mean, obviously, if you're car camping, you're going to have a cooler probably, so you may have ice, which is good. But a lot of times people get out, and especially in the Southwest, and this time of year when it's 110 plus degrees in Phoenix, and they get out there and they don't bring enough water. The bad problem with Phoenix is it's so hot, you don't realize, and you don't have the humidity, so you don't sweat like you do going here outside. as bad, so you don't realize how hot it is. So uh, you've got heat stroke. I've many times almost overdid it in Phoenix when I was out there because uh, it's a everybody says it's a dry heat. Well, it's hot. I mean, 118 is hot, and when your body doesn't sweat and you don't realize it is that hot, it's even more dangerous. I mean, I know Daniel can attest to that. It's a dangerous situation being in the desert for sure, even much more than here. I mean, you do get that extra humidity, and your body does absorb that if you don't think it does, but it does. And your body, your clothing, especially, I mean, cotton you wouldn't want to wear in the summer. You want to wear merino wool or synthetics wicking, dry wicking clothes, obviously, to help you stay cooler. uh, Ventilated hats that are have good vents in them to help. um, a good bill. People don't like to sweat in hats, but that sweat ring on your hat helps actually keep you cool too. So, um, uh, Cole, no problem. Welcome in, Cole. I was glad to see you got your stickers. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for coming in tonight and hanging out with us. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I do have in the studio tonight, so I can keep up with the chat. It's a lot easier with my tablet, so it makes it a lot easier when I'm looking away. I'm looking at the chat so hard on the phone, and I'm using YouTube chat tonight instead of StreamYard because it's easier to read the chat. I do love StreamYard, but when I'm using my phone, StreamYard's a lot harder to see chat. But yeah, those are good things to add to, you know, the list of things that you want to keep hydrated. Let's see here. New Mexico's getting ready for the weekend. Some can't wait for vacation to start. Ooh, yep. New Mexico, man. I love it there. My wife's from New Mexico. So here. Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you coming in. Just don't go outside. Well, yeah, but there's no reason not to enjoy the outside, even if it is super hot. I mean, if you go out and get prepared, as long as there's a breeze and it's halfway decent and the UV index is a little bit lower, just like today, it was pretty nice, especially if you can be in the shade, not be in direct sun all day. It's really not that bad, especially if people's like, I don't want to wear long sleeve. Well, my long sleeve fishing shirts are dry wicking and they're actually cooler than like this cotton t-shirt I'm wearing right now. It's really nice out. Hey, CNT, thank thank a lot for coming in, stopping by. I seen you in earlier, so I thank you for coming back in and saying hi. And let's see here. I don't get near as many viewers on StreamYard for some reason. Yeah, it really depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really depends. And it really depends on what you're doing. It really depends on what people are wanting to do. A lot of people like seeing you on location. I thought about going out to the base camp again tonight, but I just didn't have time to get it all set up and be out there like I wanted to. I just didn't make it happen. But um, people like to see nature. I understand that. That's kind of why we're talking about what we're talking about. Let's see here. The big signs. I know most people know, but some people don't know. I mean, signs of you getting overheated and not being hydrated obviously is dizziness, nausea, excessive sweating. If you start sweating more than you normally do, that's a really good sign that you're dehydrated and getting overheated. Obviously, weakness, your headaches. Headaches are super big sign that you're dehydrated. And by the time you get a headache, you're already way too dehydrated. So, like Ken said earlier, pound those electrolytes in water as you go. And I mean, and they say to almost overdo it, especially when you're out there hiking and doing really strenuous activity like kayaking or something in the heat. And if you're on the lake, river, whatever, that water increases that reflection, wearing your hat and shading your head. I wear my long sleeve fishing shirts. It helps combat mosquito bites, sunburn, on top of keeping you cooler. Um, most people think, well, I'll wear a cotton shirt so I sweat and keep you cooler. Well, it's really doesn't work as well. The moisture wicking uh, shirts and merino wool keep you cooler than actual cotton. Even if I mean, if you do have cotton, I would keep it like saturated wet from river water or something. It'd be good to have a cotton, bandana or your shirt to put around your neck or something wet on top of that moisture wicking. Um, bandana works really well as far as dunk it in the river and then just tie it around your neck or even around your whole head. Put your hat underneath your hat. I've done that many a times. Let's see here. Obviously, like we talked about, planning ahead. That's number one. Trying to remember everything. I mean, even though if it's hot, I mean, you still can have a good time. Obviously, plan your trips around water would help. Higher elevation, um, hiking trails that have more shade, like our Frisco Trail here is an old rail system that they took out, and it's now a trail system, and it's heavily shaded. It's got some parts that are out in the open too, but it's really good shaded areas. So this time of year, morning and evenings obviously the best times, but if you can only go out in the middle of the day, there's huge sections of that trail that's really shaded, so it's nice. And if there's a breeze, it's going to be bearable, so that's nice. I forget everything. I make a checklist before leaving. Absolutely finding joy. I do too. We all do, and that's one thing with this technology. Everybody has your cell phone on you all the time. I know Randy from Ozark's Great Adventures, he makes lists on his phone. I make lists on my phone. Still forget stuff, even though I have it on my phone, but that's reality. But hey, Chris, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you, brother. That's my brother Chris. He lives in Joplin, so I live near the Springfield area. So he's not too far away. Thanks for coming in tonight. I appreciate that, CNT, for hitting that thumbs up for me. If you guys don't mind, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I know everybody that I see in here subscribed. But yeah, let's planning ahead, obviously, choosing the right trail, and I kind of hit that. You want to opt for, shaded routes, higher elevations, like I said before, and obviously trails near water. Any activity near water when it's extreme heat like this is important, and obviously it'll make it much more enjoyable. I remember as a kid going on camping trips and everything. We'd always typical because school gets out, then it gets heat of the summer, and you go camping. Well, it's we'd always. A lot of times I'd even sleep on a flotation device at night in the water, so I could dip in the water as I woke up, and if I got hot. So uh, sometimes it's miserable. Hey, Grace, appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in and hopping in with us. We're just discussing, the importance of keeping cool in this heat. I know everybody, for the most part, across our country and around the world, even, has really been hot. But I don't think this topic is discussed near enough, especially uh, that we're all outdoorsmen and we all like to fish, hunt, and be outside. I just don't think we think sometimes when you go out unprepared. Number one for me, it's just being unprepared, not bringing enough water, not bringing the right clothes or the shoes. I mean, your shoes, your feet, and your head and your wrists even um, is a good place to cool down. Your groin area, obviously, when you get overheated. Um, we always wear the wrong clothing. Even if you wear shorts, what kind of shorts are you going to wear? Are you going to wear moisture wicking shorts and shirts? I mean, and socks. What kind of socks you're wearing? It'll keep you cooler even if it's super hot outside. Um, and I swear upon those fishing shirts, of my long sleeve fishing shirts I have, the moisture wicking, they keep me a lot cooler. The last job I had working outside, I drove a tractor for Tracker, and I wore it religiously during the hot summer, over 100-degree days, and it kept me so cool. I kept a lot cooler because when I first started the job, I didn't have those, and I quickly learned to get those because I used them fishing too. So when you're out there on the lake and that glare's cooking you, it really helps a lot. Let's see here. Timing is everything. Let's see here. Avoid exposed desert trails during peak hours. Well, obviously, it's kind of what I said about choosing shaded areas. I mean, you're not going to want to go from noon to 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. in the desert in Phoenix walking out in the, and that's another thing in the desert regions. If you can be in a shaded area, it's pretty pleasant, even if it's in the high 90s. It's pretty pleasant out there. My wife and I 2 years ago went out there for a week, and it was in middle to high 90s the whole time we was out there during the day. But we chose a lot of places to visit that were shaded, and it was super nice. And we even had our dogs with us, and they had a really good time. Yeah, the shirts are awesome. Yeah, Dan, definitely the shirts make a difference. And all your clothing, you don't want to wear blue jean material, even if you have jean shorts, that's not what you want. They'll chafe you when you're sweating. You'll want some good activity shorts that are moisture wicking, lightweight. Definitely, that's what you need. Um, let's see here. Start early in the morning. That's exactly what I was saying, or in the evening if you can, like if you're going on a hike, obviously, going on a run, cycling, kayak, and the fishing obviously is better in morning and evening, especially this time of year in the heat. So that gives you a good idea. I'm kind of talking about middle day because I do see people jogging in the middle of the day on their lunches and stuff. Jogging's okay, but pick a shaded neighborhood street or a trail like we have here, uh, or go in the woods and find a wooded trail that you can walk on. If you have a decent amount of lunch hour and you have a park close by that's shaded that you can walk, that's seems like common sense, and you think everybody will think that way, but sometimes you don't. You just like, oh, well, I've got time. I want to go for a walk or whatever, even if it's hot, you can still enjoy it. Like today, it was super, super warm, but it was a nice day. It was a nice day as long as I stayed in the shade. And take long midday breaks. I say midday, one noon, 11 to noon to 4 or 5 p.m. Definitely a lot more breaks, shaded breaks. Uh, but you know if you can, most people do early morning or evenings. Like I know Herbert takes evening walks a lot of times, especially this time of year. Um, but it's being hydrated, even if you're going in the evenings. People think, well, I'm really hydrated from the day. I spent most of the day inside or at work. I'm well hydrated. Well, even when the sun goes down and it's still high 70s or even 80s at times, you still need to stay hydrated because by the time you get back home or back to your car, you've already got your headache. You already may have muscle cramps starting. So it is important. And Gatorade is Powerade, any kind of electrolyte is your friend. I know Walmart now has even their powdered flavors for drinks. They have their electrolytes added to those, so you can pick those up for when you're doing activities. Even when I'm mowing, I have a bad habit of not taking my drink out with me, and I've got cup holders on my mower. I need to drink more, but I don't, and I usually come back in. I've already got a headache. I'm already super thirsty, and sometimes I push it when I mow my lawn. I think I'll just push through it and get it done real quick, and then I'm usually got a headache time I'm through. So come in, take a cold shower, and pound the water, the Gatorade. Let's see here. I've camped Wednesday through yesterday in the heat. A tarp for shade, plenty of water, chores, work early or later when the sun is starting to recede. Absolutely, Grace. Yep, that's kind of some of the things we're talking about. Definitely when you're setting up your camp, especially when you're backpacking in and you're camping, you're obviously going to try to pick shady spots. But if you can't find a real good shady spot, obviously a tarp um, is a great thing to take. I'd always, even if you can't, take a tarp, or if you're truck or vehicle camping, I have a pop-up canopy I use. That was our saving grace when we was in Phoenix. I love that pop-up canopy. I set it right in front of the door of my tent, so I had a nice covered patio, what I'd call it, for our tent, and we had our cooking set up out there, our lawn chairs. The dogs loved it. It was really nice to have, really enjoyable, and it was like I said, in the high 90s the whole week we were there, and it was real enjoyable. We had a river close by that we could enjoy and go cool off, so that's always a help. Let's see here. Stay on the northern side of the hill or mountain to take advantage of the shade. Yep. Stay away from the west side for sure. Um, yep, real good advice, Herbert. Yep. That's actually in my checklist here as I'm going down as well. I'll just skip over the things that we already touch on or say that we already talked about it. Let's see here. Check the weather. Obviously, like I said, I mean, if you can go like today's cooler than it was Saturday, look ahead and pick a cooler day. Uh, check the UV index. That makes it miserable if the UV index is high, but that's a part of what I was going to talk about. The clothing side of this outline down the list here a little ways talks about having your UPF clothing, which is UV rated clothing, which is my fishing shirts, my hat, those type of things are uh, protects against those UV rays that, oh man, do torture. It compounds the heat of the sun so much. I mean, you get that baking feeling. Everybody knows. I mean, hey, Mission Discover, he knows. He's a fisherman. You're out there, and those UV rays plus the reflection of the water, it compounds it, multiplies it tremendously. I appreciate you coming in, Nolan. Hope you're having a good day and hope you guys all had a good weekend. Who else did I miss? Okay, didn't miss anybody. Checking the weather, that part of the checklist goes for checking the temperature, UV index, obviously, and the heat advisories. I mean, if you can help going out in the heat advisories, but this I even use daily, even when I was working outside all the time. I was in construction all my life, and then I drove a tractor for tractor hauling their boats. So I was outside a lot. I grew up on a dairy farm, so I was always outside. Uh, you know, as a kid, you don't pay attention to any of this, and a lot of adults don't really either. They just think they have it all figured out. Like like you know, people say just don't go outside. Well, I still enjoy it and doing content during the summer. Yeah, we all don't like the summer. The majority of us like the fall and spring and even winter for camping and stuff. But I still want to get out, not only to do content. It's not that I feel like I have to. I still want to enjoy going out. And I feel, looking at the weather this week, I seen several days this week it was going to be cooler. The UV index was going to be lower. It was going to be a little bit breezier this day. So I chose certain days to go outside. I haven't done a camp this week, so I'm not going to have a video out tomorrow unless I go out tonight. But yeah, I might go out tomorrow or the next day. We're going to get some rain, so that's another indication if a cold front's going to come in or rain's going to come in. It kind of helps cools it down before the calm before the storm per se. So that helps too. Randy, I just put up a members only short in there. Fishing stuff. Oh, well. Awesome. Let's see here, Nolan. Let's see here. Note when or to postpone your plans. Obviously, that kind of goes with being prepared. Checking the weather. If there's going to be excessive heat advisories or weather, obviously, if there's another day that you can postpone it to. But like I said before in my last live, you can't predict the weather here, especially we have so many pop-up storms. You can only do your best this time of year because I've camped out in how many times, no chance of rain whatsoever, and I've had the worst storms I've camped in those situations. So you can only do your best at that. Checking the UV index and that type of stuff is about the best you can do when you have those type of situations. Now we're getting into the clothing. Like I said, it was farther down. We kind of went over some of the clothing and ideas, but wear breathable and light weight clothing, like we said, moisture wicking, loose fitting. That's a big thing. Loose fitting, because most people think, oh, I'm gonna wear tight fitting, you know, bicycle shorts or whatever, and it's not a good idea. Loose fitting, active wear, what I call it, is what you want to do. Um, Light colored synthetics, merino wool clothing. Uh, it reflects heat. You wouldn't think the merino wool or the synthetics reflect the heat, but they do. It doesn't really make any sense, but it does. Um, Cotton is okay for casual hikes, but not for high exertion. Obviously, like I said before, if you did wear a cotton shirt and you just forgot, I mean, soak it in water as much as you can. That's where hiking near a river really comes in handy, because you can stop every time you stop to take your break, an hour and a half. You can dunk your shirt, your hat in the river, lake, stream, whatever, and it cools you off. That's what I've done a lot over the years. But people laugh when I wear my lounge pants, perfect for hot weather. Absolutely, Matt. Yeah, the pajama pants. I mean, obviously you don't want them cotton, but like I said, if that's all you have and you don't have, the synthetics or whatever, uh, it's loose fitting and it's comfortable and lightweight. It's better than wearing pants, obviously. Hey, two guys, I appreciate you coming in, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Just talking about heat, which is important. Everybody knows right now, this time of year, it's important. It's important to stay hydrated too. Hydration, what you wear. Um, let's see here. Cover up smart. Use a wide brimmed hat or cap, obviously, and well ventilated. If it's got vents in the hat, like my mowing hat I have, is kind of like a safari hat, and the around the brim, top of the brim, is vented. It's all vented and open, and get a lot of air movement. It's a nice hat. I use it a lot. Um, Neck flap. Some of the hats have neck flaps, like the fishing hats that are synthetic, that are moisture wicking. Those are nice. Keep your neck shaded. And if you don't have that, that bandana you wet down, you can tie around your neck, and that'll protect your neck and keep you cool. Sunglasses with UV protection, which is good. Just because you have cheap sunglasses doesn't mean it protects your eyes from the UV. So that's things that you don't really think about either. I know my glasses are transitions and they have the UV protection, but you don't really think about that stuff. When I was putting this together, I was thinking, I didn't really think about the UV in the sunglasses. I always wear polarized sunglasses for fishing because you can see better in the water. But they have my polarized sunglasses have UV protection too. So if you have fishing sunglasses, majority of the time they have UV protection, which is good. Um, and then it says lightweight long sleeves and pants to prevent sunburn. That's kind of why I was talking about the fishing shirts. I love. Uh, Most people say I don't want to wear long sleeve. It keeps you cooler. Those fishing shirt, long sleeve, you don't have to put sunscreen on. They have UV protection from the sun. You have to work. You can wear less sunscreen. Um, there's it's a win-win. But when I'm mowing the lawn, I get looks from people driving up and down our road. Sometimes even our neighbor thinking, "Man, this idiot's out there wearing long sleeve shirt." And I wear light colors. I've got white and light grays, but he's out there without no shirt on. And he looks like, leather, strip of leather. It's thinking, well, it's fine and dandy when you're in your 20s or early 30s, but try being 50 and 60, it's not going to be good. And the skin cancer is not anything to talk about. My dad, before he passed, had several bouts of some nasty skin cancer, and you don't want that. Definitely don't want that. So I wish I would have protected my skin more when I was younger, and I wish I would have listened to my dad more. Um, but he worked outside all his life too, so he didn't protect himself like he should have either. But people, let's see here. Where am I at on the chat's not updating again? That's so weird. Chat's not fun sometimes. Okay, it's not frozen. Let's see here. Okay, I've got that. Wearing an undershirt helps also holds the sweat, helps you cool off easier, in my opinion. Absolutely, woodsman, especially if it's a moisture wicking. You can get the moisture wicking like the tank tops and that type of stuff. I have some short sleeve moisture wicking, but even if you don't and you have cotton, you could still wear cotton. Like I said, just keep it, wet, and it helps a lot. I have a free fly long sleeve hoodie. Shirts made out of bamboo. Almost feels like wearing nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The bamboo is super cool and super lightweight. Yep. That's why a lot of the fishing shirts at Bass Pro, different brands, but I can't remember what the brand is, but it's Bass Pro's fishing line. Um, it's a little expensive, but a lot of those shirts are made with bamboo and different stuff. Um, Fisherman something. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, that is a really good idea too. But there's so many versions. Not all of them have UV protection. Some of them do, some of them don't. Obviously, if they don't, you're gonna have to wear sunscreen underneath. Uh, the least amount of sunscreen I can wear, the better. So having the UV protected shirts, in my opinion, are nice because you can wear less sunscreen. And then, if you are wearing a wet bandana or something around your neck or your hat, you're gonna have to apply sunscreen more often because you're using the water and your sweat, obviously. So every time you stop to hydrate and to rest is a good time to reapply sunscreen. I mean, it sounds repetitive, it sounds stupid, but I mean, we all know it, but half the time we don't do it. I'm guilty too. I'm speaking to me just as much as anybody else. Let's see here. Okay. I think I got my chat working again. A car door is good to have. You roll the window down, catch a breeze. Well, back when I was growing up, it was a long time. It was the late '90s before we ever got air conditioning in our house or our cars. And Dad said, "Hey, our car is a 4x60 air conditioner." I was like, "What? 4x60? Yeah, roll all four windows down and drive 60. That's our air conditioner." So it does work. You get hot and sweaty and you start moving, and even if it's hot breeze out there, when you're sweating and it's hot, you cool down pretty quick when you're hot and sweaty. Feels good anyways. Heck yeah. Good evening. Hey, Kelly's Vlog. I didn't see you come in. Sorry. Welcome in. I appreciate you stopping by. Just talking about keeping cool in our this summer heat, trying to find ways to beat the heat, and just going over. Obviously, my outline's kind of basic, but everybody's chiming in with good ideas and things that we need to stay on top of. I know uh, we just get out in the yard doing yard work at night sometimes, and I think, I'm just going to push through it, and I don't bring my drink out with me, and I think I'm just going to go out there and push through something real quick, and 2 hours later you're still out there working on it. You start getting a headache. I mean, we all do it. Uh, my big thing is picking the right clothing to wear. Like I'm going to go fishing this Saturday with my nephew. I'll be wearing my fishing shirt. I'll be wearing my light uh, pants, synthetic pants, have my big brimmed hat on, wearing sunscreen, and taking a lot of either Gatorade or big water bottles with electrolytes in it. I'm definitely going to be taking it. It's going to be hot, but we're going to go early morning. So, that's the key. Go early morning and bail out when it gets too hot. Usually the fishing is no good when it gets super hot and in the middle of the day anyway. So go get on the lake about 7, fish till 10 or noon, and you get your 3, 4, 5 hours in, and then go home. I mean, that's good. I mean, common sense, but then we think, oh, we're going to go early, so we don't need to stay hydrated, and all that doesn't apply. It still applies. I mean, you still get UV damage early in the morning as soon as the sun starts coming up over the you know everybody knows, but do we plan for it? No, we don't. We just, oh man, we don't have sunscreen. I forgot my hat. you know it's the way it is. Hey, Nolan, thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate you coming in. Gotta go finish tomorrow's video. All right, look forward to seeing it, brother. I don't know if I'm gonna have a regular video. I know this live is gonna be it. I'm gonna try to sneak a video in this week. I don't have one ahead right now, so if I have a video, it'll be later this week. We got some rain coming in, so I wouldn't mind trying to go camp in some rain. Indeed. Can remember taking naps in a fan tent during the summer. Absolutely, Woodsman. Yeah, we did too. And I always brought a like a towel, like a not a regular towel, but if regular towel, even swimming, we'd swim all day and your towels would be wet. We'd throw that towel in front of the fan and it'd blow that cool water, you know, cool breeze through that wet towel. So that's another good idea. It restricts the airflow, obviously, but it helps. Or put the towel on you and let the breeze hit you is even better, especially if it's super wet. Let's see here. I have some pre his face. He had a really big battle with skin cancer too. It's not anything to joke around about. Even though I know light complected people and people with blue eyes are more susceptible to skin cancer, and I know that's a thing because my dad was light complected and he had blue eyes. And it is true. My son is that same way. He can't be in the sun, without a lot of protection. But just because we are darker complected or seem to be able to take the sun better, down the road, we're gonna pay for it. I mean, uh, I know I went too much as a young kid and teenager with no sunscreen and getting burnt so much, and I've been paying for it. Hey, Adam, I appreciate you stopping in, man. It's been a while. Been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope your family is doing well. Good to see you. Yeah. Um, Everybody tonight, as always, has added to the conversation, and I love it. This is what I really enjoy about our community. I say it over and over and over again, but it is true. I look forward to these chats, and everybody's got good things to add to. I like having the baseline outlines, but that's when having the discussion and conversation and open chat comes to play because we not only talk about other things than the topics, but we talk about things you don't think about. And I really enjoy you guys helping and giving, your insight on things that, you just overlook, or I'm just going over the basics and then we go into more detail. It's real important, especially for new people getting outside. If people's been, especially kids that have never been outdoorsy and want to get into the outdoors and get into fishing and hiking and camping and that stuff, um, or people that just don't know. I mean, some people just don't know. What do you suggest in a hammock for 75-degree temp? Sleeping bag, light blanket, etc. Well, definitely anything above 65 degrees. I usually don't use an underquilt. If you have any kind of light fleece blanket, definitely if you have a synthetic or even a wool blanket, sounds weird, but a wool blanket's even cooler than a cotton like blanket. If you could get like a fleece blanket works good, but I usually put something underneath of me. I've got two top quilts, synthetic top quilts, and they're cooler than a down quilt. I wouldn't suggest a down quilt in summer, obviously. I would have synthetic. I'd have two lightweight synthetic down quilts. Like I have my Kelty Bestie blanket that I got from Bass Pro for $25. It's a decent size synthetic top quilt, and I usually put that down on the bottom and lay on it just to keep the mosquitoes from getting to you from underneath your hammock. And then half the time I don't even use the top quilt on top of me if it's that warm. But I usually bring an extra one just in case your arms get cold or whatever. If you've got your bug net, then you're cool with that. You don't really need any protection. So most of the time, I just sleep with nothing. I just have something underneath me if I don't have a bug net. If you don't have a bug net, don't use anything. Um, it, a bug net's nice in that aspect. You may have one or two from getting inside your hammock, but if you just don't want to worry about it, definitely put a synthetic underquilt, a real thin one underneath of you, and that'll help. And it helps comfort. Hammock's comfortable anyways, but um, that's what I would suggest for 75 degrees. But if you're not going to have the mosquitoes aren't bad and the flies aren't bad, and you can get by with not having a bug net, that's even better. But I like bug nets because even if the mosquitoes and flies aren't bad, you get moths, and here we have beetles real bad. In June, the June bugs start coming out. Well, they're already coming out. Here out. You've got your June bugs. You've got all kinds of beetles and cicadas and everything that's out there. So you're not always looking at protection from just mosquitoes and ticks. You're all bugs. And if you're using any kind of lighting for your YouTube videos, obviously we all know light attracts bugs. So using the colored lights help with the bugs, the red or green too, not just, but when you're videoing, you have to use whatever. So putting your lights farther away from you that are higher powered to light up your areas is a good idea too. But I mean, there's so many variables. I mean, that's going to get way off topic, but you know, it's the way it is. Hey, Nomadic, how are you? I missed you coming in here. Appreciate you stopping by. Hey, Hammock Mountain, how are you doing? Thanks for coming in, brother. We're just talking about the importance of staying cool in the hot summer. Of course, it's an important topic, and we've been having fun tonight talking about everything, going over my little checklist I have here. Like they said earlier about tying a bandana around your neck or whatever, a gaiter, cooling towels. When I worked for Amazon delivery, um, they gave us some cooling towels, which were really nice. And you can even freeze those the night before. Those work really well. Let's see here. Yeah, Herbert's going to get his one win. He's pretty excited. I can't wait till you get it and try it. But let's see here. Pretty much the full setup. Awesome. Let's see here. Bandana soaked in cold stream. That's what I said earlier. That was on my list as well. Anything to help aid your cooling of your body temperature for sure. And that's where you're staying hydrated is real important. Paying attention to, it sounds bad, but paying attention when you do urinate, then the color of your urine will tell you if you're dehydrated or well. Light pale urine is good. It means you're good hydrated. Dark urine, obviously you're dehydrated. Let's see here. Lighten your pack. So that's important when you're backpacking. Like Hammock Mountain knows when we're out stealth camping or backpacking, camping, keeping your lightweight backpack, staying to like a 45 to 65 liter backpack, and having them bare minimums. Have the lightest weight gear you possibly can. Obviously, that's going to help keep you cooler, less exertion, less body heat. That's common sense. Evaluate and trim your gear load. Do I really need that extra top quilt? What I was discussing with Herbert earlier. Do you need a hot top quilt? If you've got your bug net, you may not need you definitely aren't going to need an underquilt if it's, for me, 65 or higher. I usually don't use an underquilt unless I was stupid like last week and forgot my bug net. Then I'll use my underquilt, or I'll lay down on a top quilt or something. But yeah, your gear load is important, obviously. If you got heavier gear load, you're just gonna have to take more breaks and stay hydrated more. Have a water bladder or electrolytes close by that you can drink as you're walking, but still stop every hour to hour and a half if you're on a long hike. It's just common sense. Like Joy said earlier, your body's going to tell you, um, listen to your body. Uh, that's why we sweat. That's why we have headaches. Time you have a headache, you're already really severely dehydrated. So that's probably hardest for me. I always overpack. Yeah, me too. And in summer, it's even harder. And not for me. I like summer. The only thing I do really like about summer is I know I've planned ahead as far as I'm gonna have less gear. But like you say, to have the comforts, you have to decide what you're willing to give up, what you're not. That extra top quilt, I'll probably give up. Yeah, that's only a couple pounds, but that couple pounds will make a difference. Um, and the type of backpack you have, whether it's a good summer bag, it's lightweight, the material it's made out of, your back cushion, whether your back breeze, how you can adjust your backpack, how you carry your backpack makes a difference. The load distribution for your backpack. That's why your adjustable sternum straps and your shoulder straps and all that higher for me is more comfortable, but depends on your load, how you load your backpack. Your heaviest gear obviously needs to be in the bottom. I mean, there's so many variables that help. But the biggest thing is load, keeping your load light. Just take what you absolutely need to. Take shorter trips, obviously, in the extreme heat. Don't plan a 7-day, multi-day backpacking trip in 110 degrees in the direct sunlight. Obviously, that's like a no-brainer, but people do it all the time. You see these news articles of people going out and dying of heat stroke because they just, or die in the winter because they're extreme cold and they don't come prepared. Summer's just as important as going out to below zero weather, camping and being unprepared. I mean, heat is just as dangerous as the cold. I mean, maybe more so dangerous because of being dehydrated, heat stroke. The time you get to that point, it's really too late, and you're going to have combat extreme headaches, extreme uh, sweating, all those things. The time you get to that point is way, way too far, and uh, usually, I mean, that's where people die. When you feel thirsty, you're 60% dehydrated. Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. That's exactly next thing on my list. But I mean, it's exactly right. I mean, and I just don't think it's talked about enough. You hear a lot of people talking about extreme cold weather and combating that and being careful out in that, but you don't hear about. I mean, people think, well, I know everything about the summer, and that's why I stay indoors all the time. And true, I mean, but if you want to enjoy the outdoors, there's no reason, even in the extreme heat, if you can't plan ahead and do things to keep cool. You can keep cooler and enjoy it. You just have to take less and be smart, in my opinion. I have a long hike this week. I have to carry enough gear for 3 days. I will be in uniform. Wow. Yeah. So you definitely need to plan ahead, Dan. And I know you do, and you're smart, but I mean, it is. It's like I just discussed, having that pack and being out for 3 days, you've got to be smart. Number one, the food, which you can combat a lot of weight with food and water. Hopefully, you're going somewhere where there's water where you don't have to carry as much water. Obviously, we all know water is the heaviest part of your gear, carrying water. Um, this time of year, if you can be around a natural water source, is ideal. That way, you can get rid of a lot of water. Because what is it, 8 pounds a gallon? Is that right? That sounds about right for water. So, I mean, that's a lot of weight. A lot of weight for 3 days. That's a lot of water. So hopefully, you have access to streams and rivers or lakes or something where you can get your water, filter your water. Sometimes the thicker padding on the backpack can be negative because it acts as insulator. Yep, for sure. So that's where that synthetic part uh, plays in the frame of your backpack. Um, There are summer bags. There's winter bags. Um, there's different season bags, and some bags have adjustments on the um, frame system that's built into the backpack. So, that's something too to have in mind. Um, you know, having a lighter weight backpack, even if the backpack padding isn't what it should be, will help. And, I mean, just being smart and thinking about being prepared, thinking about all those situations that, you know, do I really need, like we discussed, do I really need this type of food? Do I need to take a cast iron pan with me? No, I mean, this time of year, especially, nobody really likes this eating dehydrated meals, but this time of year for me, they're high calorie, they're easy to cook, they're lightweight. You do have to have water, so that's something, like I said, you can do um, MRE type meals that don't need to be heated, that you don't have to bring water or rehydrate. Kind of like two guys in the Ozarks did that video on making MRE, your own MRE meals, ready to eat meals that don't require any cooking or very little cooking. That's really smart to do. You can get real high calorie, high protein, um, and sodium. You need to have a little more sodium, and that's where the electrolytes come in. So, all that plays into fact because you can zero your bag down in the summer to really lightweight with reducing your water, reducing your food weight. Obviously, your shelter, you can only go so much with a shelter, but you can do an ultralight tarp like Hammock Mountain Daniel has as an ultra lightweight tarp for his hammock system. So if he wanted to just do a hammock and a lightweight bivy, which you could just do a liner, a military liner, or any kind of waterproof liner, and just bivy tent, have a real lightweight sleeping pad, and not even have a hammock or tent. That would be something you could consider in the heat, and do away with a lot of weight too. Is just go ultralight with an ultralight tarp and shelter to sleep in. So you know that's something it's important. It's overlooked in the summer. Um, I always take the least amount of gear as I have to. I'm not going to take a hatchet. I'm not going to take a saw. I'm going to take one form of way to cut wood. In the summer, most of the time, I don't have a fire. And if I do, it's because I'm going to cook on it. Or ambiance, obviously. Everybody likes a fire, but you always have it away from you in the summer. So um, that's not a priority of mine in the summers to have fires. Helps with bugs. That's great thing about an Alice pack. Yep, Alice packs are great. I mean, military knows what they're doing. They sure do. I'll be stopping at a spring to refill my water. That's awesome to have that available. That's really good. And that's what I plan on, like this time of year, is being around somewhere it's got water of some sort. It helps a bunch. If you're car camping, obviously it doesn't matter. You can take as much water as you want. But I'm talking about hiking in any amount of, half mile to a mile even, you're not gonna wanna pack in, that's a mile there and a mile back, you're 2 miles. You don't wanna pack in, 2 gallons of water if you're hiking any length of time at all. Uh, 3 days is a long trip for this time of year. I don't do much backpacking. I'd like to, though. Yeah, I definitely wanna do more and, more than I do now. The problem with here in Missouri especially, I'd like to go somewhere where there's not as much underbrush. The trails are so unmaintained nowadays. The forestry department has so much less budget on keeping trails maintained and making it to where it's nice. Because when summertime here, a lot of places you can't hike, like Mark Twain where I like to go, they don't really maintain the trails and you have to blaze your trail through to, I mean, you're going through brush. Nobody wants to do that. The underbrush is so thick and miserable here. Excuse me. Speaking of hydrating. Yeah, Alice Packs is very versatile. Gets so much weight in there, and it's hard on the hips, lower back. And that inversion is much better. Yeah, definitely. And you can adjust the Alice Packs to for your load a lot more. So, excuse me. a lot more so than some of the other backpacks. To just disperse the load weight, is real important too. If you're comfortable and you've got the weight in your bag right and on your back right, it makes it a lot easier for your hike. And the weight of your pack, obviously, like we're talking about, I mean, it makes a big difference. The way the frame is spaced off of your back is great. Yes, maximum airflow for sure. You don't get super sweaty, but the sweat does kind of, if you're not sweating too much, does help cool you too. You don't want to not sweat for sure. Um, that's where those towels around your neck and bandana over your head under your hat work super good at cooling you off too and helping control that body temperature. Mini solar stove for campfire itch in the summer. Absolutely. That new pellet stove I have is perfect for that. My other little twig stove is perfect. Is usually the only thing I use in the summertime. Number one, you don't have to use a lot of wood. Number two, you don't have to exert a lot of energy processing wood. Um, I just think fire, other than cooking or to keep the mosquitoes at bay, that pellet stove produces enough heat. And if you want smoke, you can use this sticks, that you pick up off the ground and throw in there. But keeps the mosquitoes away good. Plus my thermocell I got now. I mean, I won't have any problems with mosquitoes for sure. Let's see here. We need to go hike and camp at St. Francis National Forest in Arkansas. It's beautiful. Tons of cliffs and trees. Absolutely, Randy. Let's plan that out and get that done. And we for sure can do that. Do some hammock camping. We need to get that hammock out of yours and go do it. We can definitely do it. I'm not scared. Just plan it out, man, and we can make it happen. Night, guys. Back to work. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. I hope you have a good night at work, brother. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Let's see here. The problem with the Alice pack is that the weight's too much. Trust me, I've carried an Alice pack for 4 years in an airborne unit. If I thought an Alice pack was all that, I would be carrying Durston. Yeah. Hiking with roulette run. Thank you, brother, for coming in. I didn't even see you coming in here. That's really good idea. Yeah, I mean, it's not all that for sure. And there's a lot better packs that you can get, but for the money, it wouldn't be my first go-to neither for sure, uh, especially this time of year. But if that's what you have, I mean, gear loadout is important. I mean, and you can put a lot of stuff in those packs too. That's really nice, and the big pockets on the outside for your meals and your canteens and cook set. I do like those really well. Durston Koa 55 pack weighs less than 2 pounds. Yeah, yep, yeah, and that's where you have to play too. They're pricey too, um, but buy once, cry once, like they say. I mean, if you're going to be want to get into where you can feel like doing more camps at this time of year, I would definitely invest in something like that, probably for sure. Um, but any bag you can you can overweigh, but if your back's packs less than 2 pounds, right there, you're shedding off what? I mean, my bag's probably empty 6 pounds, probably, maybe not that much, 4 to 5 pounds, probably realistically, but still, that's a lot more. Ticks are a very big issue in Pennsylvania this year. Yeah, everywhere. Ticks are super bad. So I did get permethrin to treat my clothes this year more, and I got obviously my thermocell doesn't help for ticks, but um, your bug sprays, tucking your pant legs in your boots if you can, wearing high socks, um, treating your clothes. And if you don't want to treat your clothes, um, Avon Skin So Soft lotion works great for ticks. You can put that around your legs and where your socks and your pants meet, around your neck, and it helps with mosquitoes as well. And a lot of people don't like bug protectant and stuff, but this time of year, there's alternatives like the eucalyptus lemon natural bug spray that I've got. I know, um, let's see here, Repel's got a version of it. Most all the bug plate companies now have that. It's a more natural alternative, and it works good. I've had good luck with it. Um, let's see here. I like the Molly packs. You can attach them to each other. Awesome system. Yep. I love any kind of system that has Molly on it because I mean you can connect carabiners to it. You can connect other bags. I've got my fire starting kit that has Molly attachments on the back. My first aid kit. My water bottle holder has Molly attachments. It's so nice to have um, different attachments that you can add and take away bags for certain times of year, certain weight, or change up your system. Uh, having versatility in your systems really nice and important. But to this time of year, weight is an issue. So, um, like you say, that Durston bag is definitely a really good option. A lot of lightweight packs. Luke, the Outdoor Gear Review, has, oh man, I can't remember which one he has. It's really super lightweight like the Durston. I really like that bag. And it's kind of a wet, dry bag too. Be definitely a good summer bag for, it wouldn't be good for a 3 or 4 or 5 day trip, but couple days, you could make a 3 day work out of it, but it's not a big bag for sure. 45 to 55. I mean, I wouldn't go to 65 liter for this time of year. I'd keep it down to 45 or 55 liter. Plenty. As long as you're not going over 3 day, 3 or 4 day, you'd probably be good. I like to, let's see here. Must be all over one thing. I can't believe how many I get off me already this year. Yeah. Yeah, luckily, having all the new stuff I have, I've only had, I think, 2 on me this year. I've seen a lot more on my clothing that I've flicked off before they got on me, but, definitely, if I wouldn't have been prepared, I would have had more ticks this year for sure. I've picked a lot off the dogs, which they're treated, but having them crawl on them or whatever, yeah, a lot of ticks. So I carried the Durston on a training hike for 6.25 mile this morning with 34.2 pounds this morning. Wow, that's a that's a good weight. 6.25 miles. That's pretty far. Awesome. Was in the 90s or was it in the 80s there today? It was close to. I think it got 92 here. I think around 5 o'clock I noticed it was 92 here. It was only supposed to get up to 89 here today, but at my house it got to 92 today. You have bug spray, the BUGG brand. Yeah. Yeah, I need to try that too. You said that was really good. Thanks for that, Herbert. Appreciate that info. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, Lyme disease is no thing to laugh at. That's some serious stuff. So it's real important to, just as much as mosquitoes, because mosquitoes, when, like I said in one of my other videos, lives last, I got encephalitis when I was 8 years old and almost died from a mosquito bite. So all insect bites are really bad, especially blood sucking insects like mosquitoes and ticks. They uh, carry disease of multiple types, but encephalitis is huge. Lyme disease is huge. All the diseases that these insects carry is huge, and to keep from it is important for sure. All right, Randy, appreciate you coming in, man. Say hi to your daughter for me. Thanks for coming in, Randy. Enjoy the rest of your evening, brother. Let's see here. There is a little weight raincoat that doesn't feel like being in a sauna. There's a lightweight raincoat. Yeah, yeah. I've got a real lightweight Frog Taw's rain suit that I usually take. Or if it's really hot and I don't want the weight, I just bring a poncho, disposable poncho. In the summer, a lot of times I don't mind getting a little wet. Depends on how much it's going to rain. But yeah, some kind of rain, protect the lightweights. Really, really good idea for sure. Uh, Appreciate you, Randy. Thank you. So at the end of my hike, it was 88 degrees and 70% humidity. I was totally soaked. The high was supposed to be 94. Why I went out early. Absolutely. Yeah, early or late is a good idea. Obviously, early's better because you don't have to worry about getting dark and having the proper lights and safety and all that. But yeah, but still, that's a lot of weight and a long, long hike. That's awesome that you did that. That's really, really good. And I'm sure you was well hydrated and well uh, prepared. So, and that's kind of what this discussion was going to be about tonight is the importance of people making sure they're prepared, making sure you have more water than you need or access to water, um, staying cool, taking more breaks, especially if you're not uh, if you haven't practiced and like you get out and know your limits and practice with those weights so when you do go out on an actual trip you know what your limitations are. um, you're well prepared for the instances. um, you know like we said earlier in the live stream, picking your location, picking the weather, picking the day. um, you know It's all important. It's as important as what you're wearing. It's as important as what you're carrying. Um, More so, staying hydrated, uh, protecting yourself from the elements, UV rays, um, your insects. Even going on these hikes, just because you're hiking, you need to be aware and think about the bug protection too. Because just because you're hiking, when you're moving, you're less likely to mosquitoes to bite you as much, but they do. I mean, when you stop to rest is when they're gonna attack you, and if you're not prepared with that, that could be a bad day for you. So I carry 3 liters of water, one mixed with electrolytes. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Let's see here. And that's what the next section of the outline is hydration and nutrition. Not only being hydrated, but you also need your carbs. You need energy. Um, you don't need simple carbs. You need complex carbs. Simple carbs are good for a boost of energy, quick boost, but to a long sustainable carbs, you want some really good trail bars that are, dense and high in fiber and uh, carbs. Um, Sip on water frequently instead of chugging it, obviously. You don't want to just down something really quick, sip on it the whole trip. That's why a water bladder uh, hydration bag's really nice to be able to sit there and sip on it as you're hiking. So that's important. Aim for about 1 liter per hour in intense heat, which, that sounds like a lot, but I mean, when you're profusely sweating, yeah, 1 liter per hour, that's a lot. So, you need to have access if you're going out, you need to have an access to be able to refill that. Because if you're doing 1 liter per hour in extreme heat, you know, that's a lot. Because what you're going to hike maybe 3 miles per hour, maybe for an extreme heat. So that's only going to get you about 3 miles. So you're going to have access to water to get you back. So, that's something people don't think about either. Taking short breaks in the shade for 15 to 20 minutes helps a lot. Absolutely. Even if you don't, um, take a long break. Yeah, just sitting down, relaxing, and definitely helps, especially in the heat. I'm between 3.5 and 4 miles on nightly walks. But I wait till after 9 because, well, heck, it's hot. Yeah, absolutely, Herbert. Yeah, definitely. That's really good. That's really good distance. Hey, mainly off grid. Appreciate you coming in, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Monday went well for you today. Thank you for stopping by. We're discussing with all these lovely people in here tonight about the importance. Obviously, you can see the description, just staying cool on the summer hikes and just summer in general. Doesn't have to be on hikes, camps. It doesn't it can be fishing, mowing your lawn, working out on your off-grid property like you have. You know how it is. I just think it's real important for us to hit these topics. It's been nice talking about these things, and I don't think people talk about it enough, and I don't think we all practice it enough. So um, I am on the hydration and nutrition section of my outline. So we went through sipping water. We went through, extreme heat. You usually consume about 1 liter per hour. And then electrolytes are key, like we said. Use tablets, mixes, salty snacks. A good trail mix is really good. A good salty trail mix. You can integrate carbs and electrolytes in several different ways, and lightweight too. You don't want to bring anything substantial when it's super hot. Eating a lot of small meals and drinking regularly instead of guzzling, like it says, is key. Taking small snacks, multiple snacks instead of big meals when it's hot too. It will help you a lot. I didn't drink enough water this weekend. I definitely paid the price. Oh, yes. Yeah. And that's like when I mowed the other night, or the other day. And of course, I always seem like I pick the hottest part of the day to mow, and obviously earlier in the morning. But we get so much dew here. I usually let the grass dry out. So later in the evening is when I try to shoot to mow the lawn. But like I said earlier, you get out there and you just want to bust it out and get out there. And of course, sometimes I don't take my drink out there with me and don't drink as I'm mowing. Time I come in and clean the mower off and put the mower up, I've already got a headache and I'm already dehydrated. And it takes me, you got to take your cool shower and you got to drink and drink and drink before you can feel better again. So, I mean, it not only goes for the outdoors, it goes for working around your house anytime you're outdoors, even going shopping or going in town. I always bring a big my wife and I both bring, things to drink, water with us, even when we're going on errands in town, because when you're busy running around doing errands in town, a lot of times you don't think about it. I mean, it goes hand in hand, and you don't think about wearing a hat, or you don't think about wearing sunscreen. Oh, I'm only running in and doing errands. Well, it doesn't take no time at all to get UV damage to your skin and sunburn, and you know it is what it is, and we all do it. But taking those shortcuts, you know, uh, my dad, like he said, if he would have been more prepared, and even in his job, and like me being in construction, wouldn't have had all that skin cancer if we would have been prepared and had the education and people. I hate the word preach on it, but I think we really do. We need to encourage each other to be more prepared and take more care of ourselves, because not only will it help you in your health, it may prolong your life. Depends on what you believe, but I mean, taking care of yourself as much as possible, because as you get over 40 or over 30, even, it takes a lot longer to recover from when I was 20. I could backpack and do a lot more exertion when I was 20 than I can now over in my 50s. So, it's how the body ages, and there's nothing we can do about it, but we can be more prepared and we can be more adamant and encouraging. Bring extra if you're going with a buddy, in case your buddy's not prepared and he runs out or something. Bring enough extra electrolytes and snacks and stuff that you can, if you forget something, maybe he didn't forget something or whatever. Be each other's, uh, have each other's backs, and that's one thing too. It's important. I know a lot of people like being solo and do their own thing, but this time of year, even maybe not going solo, or definitely having GPS where a loved one can keep track of you to make sure you're still moving and doing okay. Uh, like my watch has vital stats that it can track on Fitbit and different stuff. And I know Garmin has different watches that have satellite stuff. So I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to be prepared, and having somebody with you is, I think, a really good idea. You got some videos. Let's see here, roulette. Yeah, everybody, if everybody isn't subscribed to one another, definitely need to subscribe to each other. That's what this community's about, and that's why I love doing the lives. I love doing content. I love watching everybody's videos. I love watching everybody's lives, but the lives, the premieres, I absolutely love this. I so look forward to these because of the interaction. You get to know your subscribers. You get to interact with your subscribers. It's so nice, and this is such an awesome community. Um, I really appreciate you coming in, uh, hiking with Roulette Run, because um, if you're not subscribed to them, I definitely will subscribe to you after the live for sure. I could actually do it right now. Um, but that's what community's for, is to support one another. I love the support and going into other people's lives, and it's awesome because you get to see how everybody is, their videos, and get so many new subscribers. I mean, I've gotten so many new subscribers, and I've subscribed to so many new channels that it's been really good. Um, a lot of fishing channels, and that's one thing I want to. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I want to get into more fishing for my channel. I do fishing, but I usually don't video it and stuff, and I think I'm really going to start doing that more, especially in the spring and summer, or spring and fall, I should say. Let's see here. Now we can move on to monitoring urine. I already said monitoring your urine earlier. If your urine's dark, you're dehydrated. If it's pale, you're well hydrated. So you look for that in your urine. Obviously, eat light but often. I touched on that for sure. Small snacks keep your energy steady. Avoid heavy meals and making your body work harder. I touched on that. So um, definitely, yeah. Eat more often and lighter snacks. Oop, almost dropped that. Eat snacks. Drink more. That's That's still the same. Let's see, trail techniques and strategy. That's the next part of the outline. This one was a lot harder to think of. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to look, see if I missed any comments. Sorry, guys. Best community there is. Absolutely, Herbert, for sure. Uh, I meet so many people this way. Yes, I have to. Ken's in the house. Adventures with Ken. I'm back. Sorry, I had some stuff to take care of. I appreciate you, guys. I know everybody's got lives of their own and need to do things, but I appreciate you jumping back in here, Ken. I really do. Yep. I'm trying to help before I move on to more of the outline. Let's see here. I see you very often on my channel. I really appreciate it. Yep. I'm trying more and more. I've got so many. I'm not gonna lie. I have so many I've subscribed to, and I try to give everybody love. I've got probably twice as many that I subscribed to that I have in the last year. So that's where my extra time in the evenings when I'm camping and stuff is a lot of times where I'll catch up on um, trying to support the channels that I watch. Dan, this is someone say snacks? Yes, snacks. That's where it's at, Ken. We all love snacks. I love snacks. But when you're hiking and, being military and law enforcement, I mean, especially when you're backpacking, camping, whatever, backpacking, especially light snacks. I love trail mix. I love nuts. A lot of people don't like nuts, but a lot of light snacks. Dried fruits is really good. I like a mix of carbs and protein both. So it's kind of like I like the trail mixes with the raisins or the cranberries in it, or even the small M&Ms just for that extra sweetness. And I mean that's where the simple carbs and the complex carbs come in. Trail mixes and cereal bars are like trail bars. And I don't like saying cereal bars because cereal bars are really simple. But if you get a good trail bar or granola bar. If you can make them homemade's the best, but you can put all those oats and honey and good carbs in those. Fruit and nut mix. Seeds are really good. I like having seeds in my uh, granola bars. All I do is watch YouTube. I might. not comment on everything, but I do a lot of times. I'll listen and I'm doing other stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what I am. I used to really, the last year, I've been trying to be really adamant on commenting a lot on everybody's stuff just because I know how much more commenting helps. I was really bad about never commenting on anybody's videos. Um, but I've really gotten adamant on even after the lives are over. I notice a lot of people don't comment on lives, even though that we've been chatting on lives. I try to still go comment on people's lives because it really helps get the algorithm out and get your live. People's been watching the lives a lot more since I appreciate all of you guys commenting that do comment on all my videos and even the lives because it does get you more views after your lives finish. So I do appreciate the support, appreciate all you guys, and I know each we all appreciate each other. It's what's so awesome about this community is that this community is very supportive and it's nice because I'd rather have 10 good supporting subscribers than 100 non-supporting subscribers because those 100 subscribers that don't support your channel. I mean, yes, once you get to being monetized and you get to that point, yeah, you need subscribers, but later on, if they're not going to support your channel, it really does you no good. So, kind of getting off subject here, but that's that's important. I mean, and in this community, I know we all support each other, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really do. I know that's not said enough, but I do. Okay, the trails, techniques, and strategies. I didn't get to that. So rest in the shade. Obviously, we hit that. Take breaks more often. We hit that. Ideally, I hit it on the head, 60 to 90 minutes. But like you said earlier, who said that earlier? Hiking and run said 15 to 20-minute breaks even more often. Obviously, is good too, but it depends on how extreme heat it is, and even if it isn't extreme heat, if it's over 80 degrees and you're hiking and you're in direct sun, it's just as hot as 95 in shade. So um, when you're sweating, you're sweating. Let's see here. Rest longer during the hottest part of the day, obviously. Use natural water sources safely. Filtered, obviously. Filtered or tab. Uh, some way of purifying it, boiling it, but obviously you're not going to want hot drink more than none. You're going to want a cooler drink. Never drink unfiltered water, untreated water, obviously. Um, Adjust your pace, get slower than usual. Don't push through fatigue. Listen to your body. So that goes with what Joy was saying earlier. Listen to your body, obviously. Um, if you're getting fatigued, you're tired, stop and rest. Even like, you know, we said earlier, if it's 15, 20 minutes, I mean, when your body's going to tell you when you're ready to stop, when you're ready to, it doesn't always tell you when you're dehydrated, but the time you're too far dehydrated, you've got your headaches, you're profusely sweating, um, you're way too far gone by that point. So you might as well just drink when you don't feel like you need to drink. And that's what I always tell myself. I'm not thirsty, but you are. I mean, and you can't drink too much at that point. I mean, just drink. Drink when you don't think you need to drink. That's when you need to drink. Sounded like my parents, right? Let's see here. Always hit the like button. No, yep. Hitting the like button. Sorry, I missed that, Ken. Yep. Always hit the like button. I know peanut butter is good, makes me burn through my water reserve. Yeah, peanut butter definitely makes you thirstier. I know nuts and the peanuts and stuff in the trail mix, it does make you thirstier, but you're relying on that salt in the peanut butter or the nuts to help you retain that water, the fluid more. So it, it's a win-win. It's a loss, but it's a win. I mean, it makes you thirstier, but it helps you retain water too. So peanut butter is really good, and I like those squeezable peanut butter pouches that they have, like the applesauce, but that's peanut butter now. So that's so convenient to take on hikes. Because sometimes I just eat that right out of the pouch. I don't even put it on anything. Um, Crackers. multigrain crackers are a really good source to take with you. They're real lightweight. You throw in a Ziploc bag and have that pouch of peanut butter. Those are two good combos for snacks. Um, they're really easy on you in the heat. I know peanut butter makes you thirsty for sure, but for me personally, it's good. Doesn't make me my stomach upset. You don't want to take you know yogurt covered raisins or something like that. Obviously those are gonna melt in the heat, but I mean you don't want to take anything that's gonna upset you. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to be hiking out there and have milk or cottage cheese or something like that, or you don't want anything. Those applesauce pouches are good, but if they get hot, that's not good, and you can't have those in the heat. So, um, you got to be smart on what kind of snacks you take. Beef jerky, that's salty. It's a good lightweight snack to take with you. Um, yeah, peanut butter pouches is a win. I know Jiffy has them. I think Walmart has their Great Value brand of them, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a game changer. Those peanut butter pouches are awesome because you squeeze it out. It's no mess. You squeeze it right in your mouth. Apples, apples are good to take. You can pre-process them and slice them up, and those pouches you can squeeze that peanut butter right on your apples. Really good idea. Bacon jerky, yes. Yep, bacon jerky. I should rest a lot. My body aches. Yep, yep, for sure. And as we age, I mean, you need more rest than you normally do. Even if you are conditioned and stuff, as you age, you should rest more. I mean, I know you always want to push and push and push and push yourself harder, but as you age older, you definitely need more rest. For sure. My number one strategy is plan my hike with a mapping app, GPS app. Plan out how long water carries will be and camping locations. Usually they're typo maps and you can see terrain features. Absolutely. Yep. And that goes with being prepared. That's the smartest, that's the best uh, addition to tonight's topic is what you just said. I mean, um, your strategy, and that all goes being prepared, uh, being overly prepared. You don't want to overly pack, especially on hiking or camping excursions if you're walking. Um, but that's part of being your strategy, being prepared, your maps, your safety, um, hitting all those checklists. They've got online checklists. If you can't think about it in your head and think of that you're going to miss something, just download that checklist app and they'll have an app and you can customize your checklist and make your checklist. Be prepared. Tell people where you're going, how long you're going to be there, when to expect you back, um, all that stuff. And if you have options like I do for my Pixel to make emergency GPS messaging, um, if you're out where you don't have cell signal, or get a inReach or Garmin inReach or some kind of satellite communication device if you're going to be out multiple days, uh, so your loved ones can track and know that you're safe. Definitely, definitely this time of year, not just in the winter, any extreme weather, it's a good idea. I usually field strip 3 DoD MREs for the hike. Have those peanut butter pouches. Yep. Yep, the crackers. The crackers aren't too bad, but that peanut butter sure makes those MRE crackers a lot better for sure. But those are good pair, very good pair. And then if they have those, they're kind of those morning pouches. I don't know what they are. They're like some kind of almost like a nuclear grain bar or something the military has on those MREs. But that peanut butter, man, that really is good on those for sure. Honey and crackers, yes. Honey's a good idea. You can always get those pouches, honey pouches as well. Or yeah, honey's a good snack. Calpopto version free. I download my apps ahead of time. Yep. Yep. Downloading the apps is really good because some people think they rely on service to be able to bring up those maps, but always download the offline versions for sure. You don't want to learn the hard way that you think you got cell service, you're going to be in an area and you don't. And yeah, definitely. And have basic land navigation skills. I always carry a compass in my bag. I hope I never have to go. I'm pretty good with uh, knowing my north, south, east, or west, and that I don't. I feel comfort without a compass, but I always carry one just in case. Matt made us all pacing beads. We have those. Uh, Land navigation class would be real important for people. I think we rely too much on technology, but it's there for our use. So um, I'd rather see somebody rely on technology more than not rely on anything for sure. MRE cheese, yeah, there you go. They have the like the what is it? The cheese whiz in the military has the cheese whiz and the cheese MRE. Yeah, the cheese and MREs. That's pretty good on the crackers as well. Very good. Celery sticks in a Ziploc bag with a little water to keep it from drying out. Go with your peanut butter. Yep, Grace. Awesome. Yep, very good. Very good. Yep, for sure. I mean, there's so many things that that you can take are lightweight are so good. I like banana chips. Dehydrated banana chips is really good. Any kind of dehydrated fruit I like as a snack mixed with some nuts is really good for sure. Hammock Mountain, I use the Onyx Backcountry. There are several good ones out there. Yeah, the Onyx Backcountry is a good one for sure. Yep. I usually strip the MRE cheese. Yeah. I prefer the peanut butter, but hey, man, anything's better than nothing. Those crackers are kind of bland for sure, but that's one thing I like too. And graham crackers are good, like simple carb as well. It's like a quick pick me up with, or you know, Nutri-Grain bars or stuff like that. Stuff with high sugar content, I try to stay away from. But even graham crackers and peanut butter, that makes a super good snack too. You can't beat a regular graham cracker with peanut butter. I love it. So good. So cheap, so lightweight. All right, let me hit some more topics here. We're getting at close to the 2 hour mark, so I want to try to get through this real quick. Let's hear. Adjust your pace. I already went over that. Next topic is campsite cooling. Obviously, pick shaded campsite. We talked about that. Avoid west facing slopes. Uh, Dan and I talked about that earlier. Pitch your tent under trees if possible. Exactly. So all the shaded, common sense stuff. Of course, we're all doing that already. Eating no celery, yes, Dan. I hate raw celery. Cooked celery, yes. Raw celery, no. Try eating both crackers plain with less than 2 minutes. No, no. We in our youth group when I was growing up, we had a contest one time for a fundraiser at church. We had a whole sleeve of saltine crackers. You had to drink a whole 8 ounce glass of straight lemon juice concentrate and then eat that whole. Whoever could drink that whole thing of lemon juice and eat the whole sleeve of saltine crackers the quickest won. That was tough. Very few people made it through that. I did, but it took me a little bit. Oh, that was bad. You get lockjaw from the lemon juice, but and then the dry crackers. Oh, buddy, that was tough. That was tough. I still crack up about that. Watching all these kids, that was hilarious. My hammock is always under trees. Man, that's what's pretty convenient about being a hammocker, We don't have to worry about that. We used to have that marked off, know how to think about that. Widowmakers and what trees we hang under, I guess, is a good thing to think about. But yes, for sure. I love hammock camping for that reason, especially in the summer. Just watch out for dead fallen limbs. Widowmaker's branch fell. My last video, and I was filming. Yeah, I know that was bad, and I've had that. I don't want to get on the Bigfoot topic, but there are a couple times camping in the past, and I was like, man, I thought I heard tree knocks and stuff, but it was I'd look and the limbs falling. I'm like, dang it. But I mean, a lot of crashing you hear in the woods and stuff. It's limbs falling or trees themselves falling. So yeah, it's definitely good to look at your area and to make sure you're safe. And that's part of being prepared for sure. Hey Skeeter, what do you think about our stealth camp? Oh, I loved our stealth camp, man. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Our stealth camp was great. Great location. Uh, Definitely want to do it again for sure, Skeeter. Awesome fun times for sure. It was fun. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, now I'm going to ventilation. Use a tent or your hammock set up, obviously, for optimal airflow. Sleep under a tarp, bug net, obviously for protection. Ventilation is important when you're setting up your camp. You know, um, that's part of being prepared and part of your strategy as far as if you're backpacking and camping. Um, Night cooling, use a damp cloth to wipe down. Definitely a good idea. Sleep with a wet bandana on your neck or cool bottle near your body. So that's something I didn't really think about either. If you're backpacking, obviously, if you have a stream nearby, yeah, you can get some cold water in that bottle and put one under, in between your thighs or under your armpit or whatever. I mean, that would keep you cool. I didn't really think about that a lot, but definitely the bandana or wetting the rag down or towel or something that you have with you. Uh, Definitely a good idea. And then know when to stop. This kind of follow up to what we talked about already. I mean, your body's going to tell you when you need to stop and it's tired. Obviously, you need to stop. Disorientation. That's not that hard to say, but I mean, that part, like I said, that's you're too far gone at that point. You're already way past, you're almost a heat stroke at that point. Red hot skin, stop sweating, confusion, possible heat stroke. That's when you need to take action immediately. Rest, cool down, seek help if you have help. If not, definitely need to use your Garmin InReach or your iPhone or Pixel phone with your emergency texting. Uh, you know, if you need to set, you don't want to set where you're going to pass out and be in a river, but if you have that river, that cold water nearby, definitely get your body temperature down. That's the number one goal. Um, let's see here. Safety and goals. Don't push, just finish the trail. Yeah. Don't, I know us guys are, especially if you're hiking with a buddy, you're going to try to outdo your buddy or, you know, even with you're by yourself, you always have it starts out as a goal, but you're going to push your like I know myself too well. You're going to push yourself more than you should sometimes, and you shouldn't. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, I can't wait too either, Skeeter. I'm spending the weekend in Cranberry Glades in West Virginia. The trees squeak there. Love it. Awesome. That sounds awesome. I'd love to explore Virginia and West Virginia more. I haven't, and North Carolina for that fact. I like all that area really well. A lot of places I'd like to explore. I usually pair my cadets up with a wingman. They watch each other for the signs of heat exhaustion. Yeah. And that's what I was saying, any extreme weather, whether it's winter or summer, would be a good idea to have a partner. If you're going solo, you're really going to have to watch yourself and think about things more, take it slower, just so that you're more prepared. Like, the strategy, again, I mean, um, that plays out when you're soloing for sure. We tend to overdo it on our first day of the hike when our bodies isn't used to it. Absolutely. Yeah, and if you haven't conditioned yourself or been out, or if it's the first time, hopefully not the first time of the season, but a lot of times it is, and yeah, you really overdo it for sure. Use a pair. Let's see here. Especially when I had heat stroke, take extra precautions. Yes, yes, definitely. Heat stroke is no joke, and that's kind of why I'm getting on here and doing this because I have seen a lot of articles this year already just on heat with all the excessive heat, and I'm preaching to myself just as much as anybody else. I hope this even just helps one person think of something they didn't think about. I mean, just preparing this outline, I thought of things on there that I didn't really think about that does help. Smart backpackers know when to turn around too. And that was part on this list that I was like, I didn't think of that. None of us want to give up. None of us want to be a quitter, especially guys. We're so hard on ourselves and you want to push through but there's no shame in quitting if you know your limits and you've passed those limits. There's no shame. I'd rather somebody quit early and save their life and not have heat stroke or to do some kind of damage where you can't enjoy being out later. I mean, that's what this discussion's all about in my books is being smart and to be able to enjoy going out another day. I mean, that's what we all love to do. When I was still active duty, I had a guy pass out from heat exhaustion on the range. I seen what the horsemen used and where it was at core temperature. That was enough for me to learn. Yep, for sure. And that's one thing it is. I mean, either learn from your mistakes or you learn from somebody else's mistakes. And that's what it's about. If you can learn from your mistakes, that's the key. If you go so far and you're not with us anymore, obviously you can't learn from your mistakes. I always told my kids growing up, mistakes are okay if you can learn from them. You know, mistakes that you can't learn from, that you can't go back and change. Those are the things that, I mean, you still learn from them, but the damage is irreversible. And sometimes, sadly, that's what we do as humans is we push the envelope too far, and then irreversible repercussions come from that. So yeah, definitely. No kidding, Ken. What will make you pay attention to your body temp? That will make you, yeah, make you definitely and if we just stay on top of it, we would never have to worry about it. That cooling towel makes a huge difference. Not only your body sweating helps you, but that extra cooling and extra breaks, extra water consumption, eating more uh, snacks periodically, small snacks. Yep. When you're out camping, I try to do bulk of strenuous activities early in the day, like gathering, processing firewood for the fire. Yep. Especially in the summer, like we discussed earlier. I mean, having a small fire, bringing a twig stove, something in the summer that still utilizes bug protection and you can cook on. Um, I definitely highly recommend that those little stoves don't weigh nothing and you can put them in your pack and bring with you if you don't bring a jet boil or something, small titanium backpacking stove with the titanium cup or something. If you're not bringing that, if you're not doing dehydrated meals, you can even get the titanium twig stoves for lightweight too. So that does double duty, triple duty for cooking, bug protection, ambiance, whatever you want to say. But there's no reason that you can't have a fire even in the summertime, even though it's hot. Um, bring something small and still enjoy that fire. It helps you with protection. You can cook on it. You don't have to bring a gas canister. Uh, it's just part of your preparing, just being prepared. It's good, real good. But I mean, that's pretty much the basic of the outline I have. I guess to wrap it up and the conclusion, I guess, is you know, summer backpacking isn't meant to be, discomfort. It is hot. It can be harder, um, but it's about safety and performing with your gear and knowing that your loadout, knowing your capabilities, not biting off more than you can chew, knowing, you don't want to go out and hike 15 miles if it's 95 degrees if you don't know that you're prepared enough and you've actually done it. You know, don't have uh, goals that you can't uh, realistically meet, and that's part of being prepared, going out and start locally on your roads with your bag at the weight that you are comfortable, what you want to take, work slowly up to it and know that you can do the trip that you're going to do safely. That's part of being prepared. Um, Being smart with your preparation, good habits, attention to your body, you can beat the heat and have a blast. So, that's what it's all summed up in this. Stay cool, hike smart, enjoy the trail. that's what this is all wrapped up to be, and everybody's really added awesome uh, input on everything. I'm still trying to make sure I'm caught up on everything. Didn't miss anybody's. If I missed anybody's uh, comments, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look to make sure I didn't. I know I forget some here or there, but it's hard being on an outline and getting every comment. But yeah, that's what it's all about: is being safe, enjoying yourself, and you know, I all kidding aside, I know it's nice to stay in air conditioning, and it's kind of nice once in a while. Say, um, you're quicker to say I don't want to get out at all when it's hot, but I still enjoy it. It makes it more enjoyable when we are prepared. It makes it more enjoyable when you wear the right clothing and like we discussed, just get out and enjoy it. Um, I really, really like it a lot. Hey, Nicholas, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you stopping by. Have you ever tried an e-bike? It's a game changer. It's funny you say that and coming in. I appreciate you coming in. If you ain't subscribed, I appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. And likewise for everybody else that's in the room, I'd appreciate a subscribe and check out their channels. But yeah, I definitely, we was just talking about an e-bike the other day. I definitely would like. My dad passed away, and I got his mountain bike, and I have my mountain bike, and they're set up for um, bike trailing and camping and stuff. But yeah, I would definitely like to have an e-bike someday. Definitely would. I just can't justify. I mean, I can't spend the money right now, but maybe later on. I definitely would like to have an e-bike. That would make. I'd like to do a lot of e-bike camping, for sure. Because you can go off trails. I'd like to have a fat tire one that designed to go off trail more and that I could do some off trail camping and stuff. Yeah, that would be nice. I'd like to do some pretty far distant, you know, um, e-bike camping. Yes. E-bike that have no cash. Yeah, cash is hard to come by. They're expensive, and the one I want's pretty high up there. I teach my students not to carry more than a third of their body weight or 40 pounds, whichever is less. Yeah, that's smart, Daniel. Real smart. That's a really good, uh, realistic expectation of somebody, even if they're unprepared. 40 pounds is probably, 30 to 40 pounds. Yeah, definitely. Um, wouldn't want to go over that for sure, especially in extreme heat and even the real extreme cold. I mean, I know you can haul more when it's colder, but you don't want to sweat when it's cold. So there's so many variables on that that are kind of hand in hand with summer and winter. So that's really good stuff, Daniel. Appreciate the input on that. If you haven't hit the like button, thanks, Ken. I appreciate reminding everybody to do that. I really do. I appreciate that. It's had a lot of good input and conversation tonight. I really enjoy that. Like I said, these lives are important, and I enjoy getting to know everybody, and it's really nice. I got mine off Amazon for a pretty fair price, no problem so far. Yeah, there's been some really good sales this summer too on e-bikes. I've noticed a lot of the YouTubers that I subscribe to, there's several that have done some reviews. There was a really nice one, I want to say for 8 or 900, which is still quite a bit for me, but I didn't think it was too bad for what you got in the type of e-bike. The e-bike Camping with Champion has right now is a really cool e-bike. I do like that one really well. I can't remember. It seems like it was around $900 too on sale. Pretty decent e-bike. Um, yeah, someday it's on my wish list for sure. Wait to 10. I already have to watch your videos, and now you want me to subscribe to? Sheesh. Well, I mean, if you want to, you don't have to. But I mean, if you just watch and give me a thumbs up, I mean that's support my channel too. I mean, yeah, that'd be a plus. I'd appreciate it. My pack usually is around 24-pound mark though. Yeah. Yeah. And that's real, that's pretty easy and realistic if you have a lot of lightweight gear and just minimal gear. I mean, even if you don't have lightweight gear, pick your conveniences that you need and you don't need. I mean, uh, doesn't mean you need to go out when you first start out and buy a whole bunch of expensive ultralight gear. You just need to be smart on what you choose to take. You can get stuff that's not ultra light, that's still light, but do with the minimal gear that you need in this heat. Uh, Not like winter, you need the gear to stay warm or rely on a fire or shelter. So, um, but yeah, that's the mark that I pretty much was going to be at here. Appreciate everybody coming in. I don't know if anybody's got anything else they want to add to it or not, but I've already hit the mark. I think, yeah, I'm already at the 2 hour mark. So appreciate everybody coming in. We did get through everything. My pack is usually around 40 to 50 pounds. Just gotten used to it, to be honest. Filming equipment is no joke heavy, for sure. And that's one thing too about being on YouTube and doing content, and that's some gear that you can't really whittle down too far because you need your ways to charge your equipment. And yeah, definitely need to think about that if you're filming content, for sure. Nicholas, mine is a fat tire e-bike, right around 900. Check them out when you get a chance. And my dad took them out in the snow. Really? Wow. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I can subscribe to your channel. Oh, no, you don't have a channel. Yeah, I'll definitely check them out. I'll take a screenshot of that because I'll forget the name of it. I'll take a screenshot real quick. Hopefully I get a way to do that sometime. Hey, Randy, welcome back. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna stay too much longer, Randy. Anyways, I'm already hit the 2 hour mark. I know, unless everybody wants to chat, but I like to keep it around 2 hours for sure. I know everybody's got things to do and they've been busy today. All right, y'all have a good night. I've got to pick the middle kid up in about 20 minutes. See my live Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Yep, absolutely. I plan on it. Ken, thank you for coming in, guys. I thank everybody for coming in. Thank you for coming back in, Randy, and checking in. Hope your daughter's doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. I pray that everybody has an amazing week. Hope everybody enjoys their week. Hope everybody has a good weekend coming up. And I look forward to everybody's content coming out. I enjoyed your latest video, Ken. I enjoyed yours, Hammock Mountain and Randy. Everybody's content and Dan's. And like I said, I'm going to try to get out and get a video this week, but I'm going to make no promises. But I definitely will focus on my lives, if nothing else. So I appreciate everybody's input. Yes, please stay cool in the hot weather. Daniel, you be safe out there on that 3-day trip. God bless everybody. Thanks for coming in, Be Driven Equipment. I appreciate you stopping in. But yeah, everybody have a good week. Stay cool, stay hydrated. God bless everybody. And I will see you next Monday, if not before. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support. We'll see you later.